Have you guys heard about Super Mario? Well, probably not, but in this video, we're going to uncover why I made this project and how. And is there a deeper meaning to Super Mario? This is me, and I enrolled into a Scratch competition a few years ago. And for me, this Scratch competition was a pretty big deal. I don't remember exactly what you would win, but the winner would get something like a drone, a phone, a watch, or a gaming mouse. And so, if I wanted to win this, I would have to rummage through my brain and find a perfect project idea. But the project had to follow a specific theme. The theme being about a kid and some witches. And so I worked a lot on this project and I worked very hard on it. But I came to a problem. I wanted to make a platforming style game. And I did not know how to make a platformer script. And so I did the only thing I could and went to YouTube. And this was my first of a few mistakes. I went to YouTube and I searched and I found a tutorial showing me how to make a platforming script. And so I watched it and I used the code to make my own game. And after making sure everything worked perfectly in the game, I submitted it. This game was made in a different language, so I'm going to translate everything what happens. First of all, we're met with this epic intro. The main character says, "What? Wait, no, why am I a square?" The storyteller says, "Hey, I don't think you know what happened to you. Is that correct? You were going to bed when all of a sudden 3 witches appeared in front of you. One was made of gold, one was made of diamond, and one was made of silver. They stole your mom. And they transformed you into a cube. And that's how you got here. I'll help you find your mother, but you need to listen to me. Alright, well, tell me what to do." And now that cringe storyline is out of the way, you're met with the first level. You have to get to the green flag. And the player, a neat thing I added, the player always looks at the flag. And yeah, you need to get to the green flag to move on to the next level. After going through a few levels, you eventually get to a city where you're met with the ability to duck. Then you get to one of the most difficult levels in the game where you have to get to the flag while bricks are falling on your head. And after a short while, you fall into the sewers. And eventually you find the witch's house and you tell them, "Hey, give me back my mother." They say no, blah, 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 blah. And eventually they combine all their powers and this weird, funny cutscene happens where they all transform and they turn into this huge, immense monster that you have to fight as a boss fight. And then it is a pretty difficult boss fight. You have to collect those blue things, and then after you finally collect all those, you defeat the boss, and that's it. And this is the end of the game. You transform back into human and that's it. Game win. But where does Super Mawio come into this story? Well, first of all, we gotta understand what happened next. Day after day I waited until the competition deadline hit 0. A couple days later, I got an email telling me my game was brutally rejected because I used a script from a YouTube tutorial, and that script was not my own. And yeah, I was quite mad after I heard that my project got rejected. I was wishing I had not made the decision to watch the YouTube tutorial. A couple years later, I remembered the story of this competition, and I was like, hey, I should try and make a platforming script. And guess what? It actually worked. I even made a tutorial on it. Link to that in the description. And that platforming script was hitbox based. And so a while later I thought, hey, what if instead of moving the player, I move the platforms? And that's how the scrolling platformer engine was made. And since I now knew how to make a scrolling platformer game, I decided to try and remake one of the most iconic scrolling platformer games, the Super Mario Bros.
It's me, Mario! Hello!
Well, why did I make my game called Super Mawio? Well, other than for copyright purposes, and that this is one of the most famous platforming games in the world. Yeah, that's about it. But still, there's another reason that you might find a bit odd. But before I tell you, I just want you guys to know, if this video reaches 10 likes, I'll try to put this Super Mario game on the mobile Play Store. And maybe we'll be the first to put a Scratch game on the Play Store. Anyways, without joking, this might actually be a world record. So if you could, please drop a like and stay tuned for part 2. But anyways, the other odd and quite dark reason is that